Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, but first off, I would like to say a big thank you to all of you who have subscribed. We are now over 1,000 subscribers, so that is a huge milestone for me. I never thought I'd get over that, and it was quite a surprise when I checked up one day and I was over 1,000. So that was really cool, and I'd like to thank you guys a lot. But in this video, I'm finally going to be installing something that I've wanted since I first started this channel and since I first bought this car, and it's a Bullbar. Now, the Bullbar I went with is the Piak 3-loop, even though it's technically not 3 loops. It's one big loop, 2 small under headlight loops, and then just straight uprights. And the reason I went with Piak is, number one, I love the look of them, and number two, the company I work for actually owns them, so I got them at a massive discount. And you know how much I love discounts because I am a broke person, hence why it always takes so long for me to get parts to install videos, well, to do videos on installs. Excuse the my inability to speak. I'll try and take you guys along as much as possible with this video, just because the instructions that come with them aren't the best. They're pretty vague in the way that they do things, so I'm going to try and really describe and show you what needs to be done. And they say it's going to take about 3 hours to install. Mine might take a little bit longer because I'm also filming and talking through it, but it also might be shorter because I'm used to installing things like this. So without further ado, we're going to start off by taking off the old front bumper, which is actually a lot easier than a lot of people think. Everyone thinks that it's a huge issue, big problem, too many bolts, things like that. Overall, it's about 4 bolts, 6 screws. It's not that hard at all. So I'll set up the camera and we'll jump straight into it. What we're going to start off by doing is we're going to pop the bonnet here, and we're going to remove this top tray and the grill. Then we're going to be moving down below, and we're going to take off the dash plate here, which is 2 bolts on the front and I believe 2 bolts at the back. So let's get to it. Now that all that's done, the next pieces we're going to do are these 3 T25 Torx bits that hold this little inner liner here. And also down here, if we look at this, if we have a look at this plastic under tray, that needs to be removed as well, apparently. And it says you need to remove, where is it? There we go. These plastic retaining clips. Now I've got to do a little bit of sleuthing to see how that is. I think you go from the opposite side through a little access hole there, if we can see that, and try and compress the side so we can push it out, so we can drop this tray down. So if we have a quick look at that, those are the clips I was talking about. It is pretty easy just to get on the other side, push these tabs down with a screwdriver and then just push it out. And that was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be, because the instructions are pretty vague on how to do that. Now we're on to actually removing the bumper itself. And if you look down here, you see you got your 2 bolts on this side and then your 2 bolts there. So they're, I think, a 15 mil, and then these are 13. Now I can't get my impact in there, so I'll have to do these by hand. Well, it shouldn't be too bad. always leave some safety bolts. So just take them out and then screw them in a couple of turns. That way it doesn't just fall off when you don't want it to. And all it does is you lift it up and you can still undo them by hand. And then it's easier to take off. And lastly, I found that there are 2 more T25 Torx bits on the bottom of those trays, so don't forget them. Now this cable I'm removing now is the keyless entry module cable. There's no way to unplug it from anywhere, so you kind of have to be careful when you're dropping it. Just remove some of the clips and stuff just to release the tension, because you're going to have to take it off this bar and then you tuck it up on the side. Now is actually a good time, while you've got no bumper or anything like that, if you're heavy into off-roading like I am, take this opportunity to drive back the car out, get the gurney or the hose, and just start cleaning all the areas that you can't usually reach if there's a bumper or anything on that. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Alright, for this section here, we're going to be removing all the harnesses and stuff from the bumper itself. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just start removing the clips and stuff for the keyless entry module and the fog lights. Remove it from the bumper, remove the fog lights, and then we should be done with all the old bumper. Alright, get around this way. Now it says to reconnect your keyless entry module back into the harness, and then take the original bolt that you took out of your front bumper, and it should line back up with one of these holes. There we go. Take that out, line that up there. Alright, so it actually calls to just cut these sides off from here down, and same thing over here, basically just there, and the bit that sits next to your horn. Maybe some snips will do the trick. Alright, now it says to remove the lower toe points, which I believe are 15 mil. Alrighty. Now it says to get your outer support brackets and your wire through bolts. Alright, now that those are loosely fitted on there, and you make sure that you don't tighten the bolts completely because all this needs to be adjusted later, you do need to chop off the excess of the wire, not too far because you still want to be able to stop itself from rotating, but unfortunately the plate sits flush against there, so it's going to have to be cut. Now we're going to install the winch plate slash mounting bracket, as they like to call it, and we're going to hold it in with some M10s. So I'll get those ready. So it's an M10, a spring washer, and then a normal washer. So I'll get 4 of those ready, because the out ones I'm going to need a nut, but for now that'll do. Get 2 ready first, just so it's supported on each side, and then I'll do the rest. I can't stress enough when I say I only put the bolts on loosely, because this all needs to be adjusted later on. Once everything's together, that's when you can start tightening the bolts properly. Alright, next step we're going to do these two, which is M10 spring washer, normal washer, and it's actually got a nut on the other side, whereas the older models you have to actually use a hex nut, so I'm glad they've changed that. It makes life so much simpler.
Yes, I know I said so much simple, and I kind of did that on purpose, but it's fine. Remember, everything's still loose. Keep it loose. Loose as a goose. Just like that. Even this back bracket and everything's still all loose. Still saying, yes, all. Which I told you to ask, because you want that. I don't see it anyway, because I'm too lazy to move the camera. So you can see the same.
And as you can tell, the more you add bolts, the more it starts to draw everything together. Almost like it's self-centering, but it's not. So don't tighten the bolts yet.
Now they say to go from the backside forward. I'll have to cut on that one.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, now you can start tightening the bolts. Try and go in sequence, like one on the left, one on the right, one on the left, one on the right, one on the up, one on the bottom, one on the back. Just keep like moving around in different areas. That way it sort of pulls it all together and centers itself. Alright, now it says I can reinstall my under tray and my winch. Unfortunately, I don't have a winch because I sold my winch that I was going to put on this for reasons. Don't ask. Alright, so all I've done is lifted the bull bar on and just chucked, if I can get the camera in there, 2 bolts on each side to hold it in position. Now I'm going to do the other 4, and then I'm probably going to need a hand from my dad when he gets home from work, and we can align it properly. Now it's just time to finish everything up. Install the loom back in, plug it up, tuck everything away, put the grill back on, the top, install the license plate, and then the bottom shields, and we're done. Alrighty, that's going to be about all we have time for today. I know there's still a few things to button up on the Bullbar, like I've got to still wire up the side markers / indicators. That'll have to be later on because all my wiring stuff is at work, like my tester and crimps and whatnot. And also there's 4 more bolts that need to be put into the Bullbar itself, but they need to be drilled out and then the bolts put through. And I want to make sure that I have enough time to like properly center and gap this when I have like someone around, so I can do it properly, and then I'll drill those final holes, because you only want to drill those holes once everything is fully done and complete and good to go. But all in all, I like it. It looks pretty mean, and it'll look even better when the rest of the bar work arrives. Like I don't know if I should tell you, but I've got brush bars that are coming, rock sliders, and a rear bar, so it should look pretty mean. And now it allows me to put some spotties on the front, move my antenna forward, maybe go for a thick fiberglass one instead, look a bit beefier, and I'll get my Bullbar on the way. Oh, not my Bullbar, my winch on the way, and I can set that up as well. But before any of that happens, this one needs some work done to it as well. But that's going to be about it, guys. So I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. And I'll see you guys next time.